So we got four city drain mowers assigned to the city. That's a 6120 that will be replaced. The blue ones were the 6155s. Then we got two backhoes. These are some of our old mowers. That mower there, I think it's, let me see, I'll tell you how old it is. That's a 1995? 1999.
And that's a flail.
That's a flail, yes. Those are the old mowers that, they just got too much damage on them to, it's gonna be more costly to repair them than it is to just replace them.
Are those John Deere or are those Ford?
No, those are Fords.
Those are old Fords.
Those are the old Fords, yes.
Ford new home.
You going up? Or was that it? Okay, that's an old Tiger, those are the Deeres there.
Okay.
So we are sticking to Deeres, we're having better luck with the John Deeres than we are with the Fords. The Tigers are just failing on us, and I'll show you a couple of pictures of some of the problems we're having. Now that there is a, the grader, that grader there is, I'm starting to get coolant in oil. So that's not a good sign. Now this grader, we're not replacing, we still have two. So I think we'll be okay with the two we got.
Even the one with the.
One addition, we got three total.
We got three total, yes, and we're gonna sell one, so we're gonna keep two.
You're gonna try and repair one, maybe.
No, the other two are up and running, so they're good.
So the other two
Yes.
parking.
Yes.
So I got one auction it.
Go to auction.
This one's, yeah, all this is going to auction.
Okay, all right.
You still have that one with the big blade from the back that tapers in?
Yes, in fact, the two that we're keeping have that sloper on it.
I hardly ever see those. Use them a lot.
We're using them a lot on the drains up there on the west side.
Yeah, side slopers, yeah, not many people use a side sloper.
And this one used to have it, but we removed it to get to the engine and try to see what the problem was with it. Keep going up. And then I did propose for a couple of dump trucks. These are some of our old dump trucks. These are 1995s and 1997 GMCs. They're good trucks. They just got quite a bit of miles on them already.
Be 30 years old in a year.
Yes. So those are the two mowers that I'm proposing to replace, or the two dump trucks I'm proposing to replace. Go to the next one up. Now there's the boom truck. That Freightliner boom truck, it's got about, that's a 2001. It's got about 74,000 miles on it. But like I mentioned, you know, just the hydraulics on it or something on it, that just, it doesn't have much power. So after discussing with Jay and Al, we figured that if we can sell this here and the Mantis, we might be able to get a nice boom truck that will be more feasible than these two here. Go down. Now that's the other crane that's in the budget. This is the one we bought last year that we put in one of our mechanics trucks. We want to get another one to set it on the other mechanics trucks. We got a total of 3 mechanics trucks. We want to equip 2 of them with this crane.
Pretty big crane for a truck.
Yes.
What's the chassis on the truck?
That's an F350. It's an F350. So they did put supports underneath the.
Chevy hubcaps. Not a Chevy?
Yeah, it's a Chevy. Did I say Ford?
Yes.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a Chevy. It's a 3500 HD.
The Ford man.
So it drives a Dodge.
It's an option.
You can't get it past yours.
He's a Ford man but drives a Dodge.
No, now we replaced most of our Fords with Chevrolets. And that's the Mantis that we're also wanting to sell. We purchased this, and we used it a total of 3 times since we bought it. So.
Yeah, you might, I don't know if you want to sell that at the auction or you want to put it online. You might want to put it online.
Yeah, we were talking about putting it on Richard Brothers, Al.
Yeah, that might be better.
I can't see the picture. Are those, what is it? Are those tracks?
Yes.
Yeah, it's an excavator with tracks.
Oh, it's an excavator.
No, it's a
I mean,
crane.
I'm sorry, a crane. It's a crane.
Oh.
It's a crane on,
It was It's pretty big and it was hard for us
It's
to
just
load.
a bad
It's
picture.
just hard to.
How long have we had it?
5 years.
Yeah, about 5
We
years.
had that piece out in the
Also,
line.
Why don't you do them all?
The line, I won't, it's a long story
It's been
anyways.
about 5 years.
We're getting a crane truck, okay?
5 years.
Yeah, mobile, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
crap.
did that one.
Didn't quite meet the spec, but it was cheap.
So we're trying to get a rubber tire excavator rather than, crane rather than this year.
Or we'll just use that, we replace the boom truck with a crane truck, it's a lot
Yes.
bigger. The boom truck's rated at 10 and we get about 5 tons out of it, right?
Yeah, it's actually rated for 17,000 pounds but yeah, it might be 17,000 pounds when you're right up against it, that is straight up and
Well,
down.
that's how they're rated, was straight up,
Yeah.
but, anyways, the new one we're looking at, it's wheeled, we showed you a picture of it last time, it's, rated at 27.
About 30.
So if we get 15, we'll be happy.
Now, keep in mind, there's other things that we will be putting to auction that, I didn't show you pictures, I just got you pictures of the stuff that I'm replacing. That I've put in the cabinet. Questions for me?
Any more questions?
Perfect.
Any
Oh,
comments?
yours, right?
I think we need to do all this stuff.
That's that's the capital equipment, right? There's also the capital project.
Yeah.
So Pete, get back up there, Lou.
Okay.
That's the last page,
Page 6,
page 6, which is the 8-year plan, year 8.
yeah.
So we have our standard waste, turnouts, drain, flue. Automatic gates is not always standard. This time automatic gates, Robert's doing some of our big gates, not our smaller ones we normally do. And then I guess, Pete, you can talk to the city drain maintenance program you proposed, and I guess we expect them to approve it, that particular location, right?
Right. Yeah, this here, well, I need to propose it before February, so, on the city drain maintenance, this year basically is the maintenance of the other drains. The other one is called capital improvements drain? City drains? Yes, right?
Yes.
So those are the ones we got to propose before February.
To El Paso water.
They're all passed
Okay.
on, yes,
So you can see it's a $200,000 project, but only $100 is reimbursable.
correct. Oh, actually, it's 200 reimbursable.
It's 200.
So it's 200 reimbursable.
200 is reimbursable, it's license 3172, a license.
Oh, okay, so
that
we need
we
to-
have with the
we
city.
need to make that
El
correction.
Paso Water, for, they use our drains to convey their stormwater through the city to their Basin G. And included in that is the maintenance that we do, and some capital improvement projects, replacement of culverts, so they reimburse us up to $200,000.
I think that's the right number. You could do another 100,000 on some other project if you want.
Yes, on the capital
Yeah,
projects,
no,
yes.
That's right, 100's at our expense, because we split that with them, because it improves our drain. Some of these are ones we need to be taken care of to get the drains work, so pretty much the drain maintenance is we split things down.
I think the maintenance is something that we have to, we have to spend 300,000 for them to pay us 200,000, or how's that, right? Or is it 600, 200?
No, we, with the new license, we had set a rate of them just paying $84,675 a quarter.
Yeah, we fixed it, so you don't have to split that, but
Right.
in general, the contract is set up where they pay roughly 50% of the use of the drain.
And I believe the capital is 100% up to 200,000.
Up to 200,000, yeah. Well, we do the labor.
Right.
when they do it.
As you guys see there, we got some big plans for the Franklin feeders. Island Main, big one on the riverside.
So those we need to talk about, those are
Yeah.
high ticket items.
The number 8 was the one I was wanting, that I didn't quite understand. We're gonna hire somebody to do that work, is that what?
Yeah, number 7,
Number 7.
So-
Seven.
Right.
Well, it's the year 8, that's just the year number, but it's project 7.
Okay, oh yeah, you're right, I'm sorry.
So the first one, Franklin Feeder, that is a partial grant, and we've committed the district to doing that. Pete can talk to that one. And Island Main Canal is one that was just needed, that we just needed to make progress on that. And the grant funding for the Island Main was through a congressionally directed spending, but the authorization with Congress, you've heard us tell you that before, that it never got authorized, and we don't think it's gonna get authorized. There's no indication anytime soon, at least. So those two would be done by the district. Those are Shot Creek projects primarily, and earth moving projects. The other two to help out to make, because we've got such a short water year, and again, Pete can talk to some of these too, is we thought we'd try at least get your authorization to go out and try, these are engineering estimates, and bid these two canal cleaning. They're just basically excavating dirt out of the canal, not changing the shape of the canal or anything, just removing sediment from the bottom of the canal and hauling it to the Socorro ponds. Or if the contractor can find a shorter haul distance, that, you know, somebody else that wants that sand, then he can propose that to save us money. Right now, these are based on that we'll guarantee them a given haul, because most of the money's in haul. Most of the money is in the haul, especially from downtown. We've got a disposal spot on our property to save money, but it's a long haul. And if they can find a closer place, they're gonna be able to bid that closer place and give us a discount for that. But these, again.
They're gonna do the cleaning and the hauling.
Right, it's a turnkey project, and we'll have to go through the steps we go through for bidding, have to come back to you guys for a bid, opening of the bid, then award. You'll have 3 more opportunities to review these two, if you tell us to go ahead and prepare bid packages. That's all we're doing now, and my recommendation is let's bid them and see what we get, then make a decision.
Maybe somebody come back with a 1.5 on that 2.1. I doubt it.
I'm more worried they'll come back with 3.5.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
Yes,
Price it, maybe price that,
Yeah.
but, you know, at that point, it's be adjusted.
So these are 2023 third quarter RS needs numbers for El Paso. Union rates.
Okay.
Should be fine.
And I see this is about
I
4
know
million.
they're cheaper.
Yeah.
This is right under 4 million, which was, you know, most of the difference.
But we've got to have Pete fully committed to the concrete projects in that short
Right.
time.
The Franklin, the island gotta get done by us.
Yes.
The other two, we can, yeah.
Well,
See,
I'll let Robert talk to the cleaning of the canals, or Pete, either one of you would.
Go, amigo.
Go ahead.
Well, I know that, one of Robert's concern is the riverside. You know, he doesn't have, too much concern on the Franklin, but the riverside really is a concern to him. Because, with the water season that we're hoping to have next year, he's a little, hesitant that we'll be able to carry the water that we need to on the riverside.
And specifically, are you talking about hole in the wall to toward him?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was talking more along the lines of, the I-zeros down the street,
Well,
which is pretty close.
Or above,
Pretty
yeah.
close.
Oh, wait, too.
Yeah, I drove by there today, that sand's real high already.
Yes, yes.
It's about, it looks like the canal's half filled.
We've got some capacity issues, problems, but yeah, I think, you know, we had some events this year, but I mean, you know, it was a good year, a great year,
Look, we have the
We
funds, let's
needed-
get it done.
and we have 3 months, so that's.
In fact, this year, once we started water season, I had to move the excavators down there to try to dig out the bottom. Unfortunately, I was doing it with water in the system and just placing the dirt on the edge to keep the water in the channel. So we did have to do some work to it this past year.
When do you think you could do this project? I mean, it's only a big project.
We'll try to get the bid packages out as quick as possible, so that at the next board, we won't have they won't be ready, the bids won't be back in by next board, but they'd be in for the December board meeting.
Yeah, you're talking about about 6 miles.
5 or something.
Says 31 something.
Right straight from hole in the wall down to the Thorny Lady, so
It's a way.
it's a good stretch.
And if you don't do it, Art, you're not gonna get water next year.
That's what I'm saying, let's get it bid out.
So it'll be a contractor, Johnny, and,
Thanks, Robert.
yeah, they would mobilize, so obviously to the end of February would be the termination of the timeframe. So we've got, they'll have, hopefully, December, January, February, 3 months at most.
You
It's
know,
gonna take a heck of a contractor to do that, not
Yes.
just one of the locals.
No, there's some good earth moving guys here, that have
maybe,
done some good projects, so hopefully
maybe we
we'll get
can
some
use
good
them in the
bids.
fund too, Jay, if we see they're efficient.
Yeah.
If we do that cleaning and Riverside needs it, it really does, but that's just removing the cement. Are we gonna try to then go in and reshape it to get it ready for cement lining?
That, we have a grant for another,
2 miles?
2 miles.
It's on the agenda today for consideration.
It's on the agenda, but that's scheduled for 27 and 27?
25 through 28 is what we've negotiated with the Bureau, Dr. Blair and I. So we've got some other ones to fulfill that we need to complete prior, but it would be phase 6 of the Riverside, continuing where we've left off, phase 3.
Yeah, and chances are that once we get to that point, we're gonna have to do some reshaping and redigging again.
And the contractor, obviously, I
So
mean,
much sand is carried.
they're gonna leave it, shaped, the bid or the discussion we had was to remove about 3 foot of sediment.
So Riverside, we're looking at stockpiling within, a lot on the banks. And just to get that price, because it's a lot lower price, and so we have a much smaller haul distance. They're still gonna have to haul some, to get it spread evenly, depending on where the loading is and things, and where the bank needs it. So we've done the best we can to get that price down there, but the Riverside's got a huge amount of sediment in it. This is only roughly 50%. And from Alcott farther down, so it's gonna fill back in. We do have a proposal by Hole in the Wall to put an active removal site, which is a one where, you can use scrapers or earth movers, either one, to remove something that's intended to run every year where it traps sediment. And you move it with a big, heavy piece of equipment, so it's real efficient and haul. But that's scheduled for 24, 25?
Yes.
And where would you put that, if you're doing an annual clearing up
Each year we struggle to figure out where to put the dirt.
there?
I mean, initially building up the banks is the cheapest thing to do.
The last time we did the island main, I actually made a pit in one of our pieces of land, took the clay out and then filled it with sand.
Well, then on the Riverside, you're talking about putting that on the bank and that stuff is really a lot of sand. I mean, it's silt, a lot of it, but how are we gonna stabilize that deal on the bank? Because it's surely gonna be very loose dirt.
No, we can't, we know that, we'll just have to work with it.
To mix it or use some of that glue.
Or it's gotta come back, I don't even know if the glue will work, it's gotta come back to the Squirrel Pond. It's the only place we have a big stockpile.
Well, it's gonna be too much sand to,
Yeah, but
we
you
have
know,
to-
when you put it on the bank, because the banks could be raised, I mean, you could make them do that canal, but how do you stabilize that and it doesn't blow all over everywhere and go right back into the canal? And how are you gonna drive on that deal? Because that's a major, route for the big ride.
yeah, no, I think we do need to haul it off, Johnny, just because, first of all, we still gotta go in there and maintain it, we still gotta go in there and mow it. And with that sand, the ditch riders, you're right, they're never gonna be traveling that bank.
The hope is on these bids, these contractors, the local contractors obviously are well aware and connected with everyone in the city, and so they know where there's a need for fill. So the best hope is that in their bid, they can it becomes their property if they haul it off. That'd be the best case scenario, and we wouldn't have to worry about it. Because there are a lot of locations that need fill, especially north of I-10, and these guys know their your pals that, you know, that need fill sand. Again, I think you're well aware of the procedure, the process, but yeah.
Is that sand any good to fill the trenches that you guys dig between the cons?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but you do it just on certain areas, Pete, you know.
Yeah, you wouldn't
where
do the whole field.
really have, it wouldn't, I don't think it'd be much, do you think, Art?
You'd have very few guys. I was thinking if you got farmers along there that have real bad clay, and they're in a little low basin, they might want to think about, or I would have put a sand on a whole field if they had the tools to try and then incorporate it afterwards.
So normally, I worked with a guy one time and he, I excavated some bad land and we brought in sand, but he hauled in the sand and he hauled it out, which was great.
Well, we're gonna have to fill in a lot on the 2 miles we're gonna construct, right?
Right.
So we'll figure out some ways so we can stockpile, just like we did when we did the rest of the riverside, we stockpiled it immediate so we could use it for fill. So some of it's gonna get consumed by our own requirements.
And the good thing about it is that we do have that drain right beside the riverside to where we can move the sand over towards the drain side.
Right, and leave it there until we need it to reconstruct. Because, you know, we're gonna narrow it down quite a bit.
Right.
Yeah, it needs to be narrowed down, or it never will quit, building up with sand. I mean, Lake Riverside better than Riverside Canal.
So when we
So
try,
you already think you're gonna get this thing done in 3 months or less?
No, but we're gonna bid it and see what happens.
you're gonna put it on the bid documents 3 months, right?
No.
Yeah, I know, we'll give them more time window, yeah. I mean, it's a simple, from construction point of view, it's a simple mobilization. It's just
That's
horsepower.
it. You have enough equipment and enough to be able to
Right,
find it.
and so we'll just see where we can pull from, there may be what's available on the earth mover, people who wanna move vert, because it's basically a diesel driven project. And so, it's not, there's no concrete, it's just an excavators or dozers and
It's on
loaders and
But
dumps.
it's also in a wet canal. I don't know what, I guess trying if we can get by it with stuff, but I guess it will, it's pretty sandy, but, well, I guess you put out a bid and if somebody willing to try it,
I think we'll have some good,
6 weeks to, by January 1st, we expect to be relatively dry, or what? What do you guys think?
Well, I think Robert's getting water out of there by October 27th, Robert?
Right, the latest.
So it is pretty sandy, so it'll dry up pretty quick.
by December one.
So on the bid documents, you're gonna have, leave it up to the contractor to decide where he's gonna put, transport the VXs,
do you
right?
wanna do that or have them bid the 3 options?
We'll work it all up, Jim, I've done a lot of earth work.
Because a lot, to be competitive in a bid, environment, they usually know where they're gonna take they don't tell the competition, obviously, but that's how they get the prices.
That's how they get their prices.
That's
down, right?
that's
So
one.
give them an option, you know.
The other one is an option of providing them with a location of where they can transport it to. Now, I don't know if that's thinking outside the box, but is there any drainage ditches that are abandoned that we have no use for, that we could just, they're
Not in
liability,
this,
just
not
fill
in
it
this
in?
location.
No, I thought of one, the Dolan, maybe we might, I don't know, without filled in, but that's really the
Not
only
very
one
much.
that's not.
But Pete's idea is the best, is we'll stop, because of O&M needs for the road on the canal, we'll stockpile an adjacent drain, and then we'll reuse it. So we'll come up with a whole list of what they can use, but they can propose anything they want. If they want to take it all off, we'll make that an option available to them, they can bid that. I don't know, I've got to watch doing too many multiple bids within a bid, because then you don't get apples to apples, as you know, you're sort of talking about now. So we'll be, believe me, there's gonna be a lot of afternoons working with Pete and everybody on the bids, trying to get them where we think they can construct it in a short time.
If you get the word out enough, many a times the contractors will use this as a stockpile project. In other words, they use it because they need the fill, to mix it up with whatever they got going. And these are major projects, right, that they're working on, that could actually save us a ton of money, just because of their ability to use another project that they have as a source for fill.
Yeah, and there's some of that going on, and the other one is El Paso Water, we'll be working with them because they may need some of it, so.
Right.
We did get, we tried to have, Joe Materials wanted fill, but they rejected the fill at the ponds because of too much silt. we didn't think there was too much silt, did we, Pete?
No.
But, you know,
Too much
Well, this will
silt.
be sand.
this will be better than the ponds, it'll be more sandy than the ponds.
And the IBWC has a project on the levees, and it's on the west side, but maybe it's the Franklin.
But they're gonna have one on this side too.
So they negotiate with the farmers to excavate their field, to take the clay off the fields, so that reduces the elevation of the fields, which they need to come back and fill with sand, so that might be another option.
I just hate to
There's
have to
different
haul
ways.
anything to the west side, it's gonna be,
No, it's-
every mile this is all
But
haul.
I think,
Excavation fee.
like Miguel mentions, these contractors have facilities and they'll stockpile, and I mean, you know, they'll negotiate with other folks to get rid of it. And the fact that it's sand, I think it's better than clay, because, you know, obviously when they excavate for residential and whatnot, it's all clay. So they might be able to mix it and make it some good engineered fill, but, we'll see. There are options.
It's short time, we're
That's
behind.
somebody else's problem, right? I mean, you put out the bids and let them figure all that stuff
Yes,
out.
yes. I think,
Yeah.
hopefully if we get that bid where they just haul it off and it'll be theirs to dispose.
That would be our preference.
That'd be the
Okay.
best, yeah.
We have
Y'all
plenty.
feel like- Y'all-
We're not short.
You can have.
They can haul every bit of this off, but we still got plenty of it.
So that's about 4 million, right under 4 million, which is, you know, a good chunk of the,
That's good, yeah.
going into that, so. I'm gonna be here.
What were you saying, Johnny?
Well, I was gonna say, y'all feel like that, this is gonna be that much benefit to the district, because it's gonna fill back in, and, but at some point in time, we're gonna cement line it, I hope, I mean, that's the plan. And are we gonna be redoing this work again, or is it gonna be of that big a benefit to Robert in running water, bigger than moving out to the islands and the palm trees that grow in there, temporarily? That was my question. That's a big expenditure, and I'm fine with doing that if we get the benefit out of it. I'm just wondering, you know, if it's gonna do that much benefit for us in the long run.
Well, let me say something, Johnny. The water does not fit in that riverside right now.
There again now?
The water does not fit in that riverside right now. Right now, we cannot get 300 feet below Wasteway 1. If we get 300 feet, it starts breaching on the riverside.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I know the condition of that canal.
And if we don't do something, next year, we're gonna run the full amount of water. And this year, we overflowed Bobby twice from the Hanson checks, and the checks were not even overflowing there. They were not even
Yeah,
going over.
Did you charge him for the water?
Yes, sir. And the other major problem we're having with the riverside is the border patrol is not taking care of that right side of the bank.
That will be addressed.
And the trees there on the right side have practically got as high as the fence.
Yeah. You know, I know it needs it. It's terrible, terrible, terrible. I'm just wondering, you know, is this the time to do it? Is it gonna be short-term benefit or will it land into the hand whenever we want to cement line it? I'm trying to think through it. I know you guys have done a great job thinking about it. I'm just, you know, it's just a hell of a lot of money just to move dirt. And I know you need to do some, to get it operational again. And if you could put it on the banks or somewhere closed, you could do it with, big scrapers in the wintertime, but not make it where they have to haul it too far, and just get the channel in the middle done somehow or another. I don't know, and I don't mean to get involved in y'all's business, because you know more about this stuff, Pete, than anybody, you and Al, and Jay. So, just some questions that I had is do we need to spend that much money to get the flows that we need until we're ready to really revamp the whole canal? I guess that's a better way of saying it.
This is what I'd recommend, and I can't fully answer that question, but I'd recommend that you let us at least entertain the bids, and we always obviously have to make the decision on a go, no-go at that time, and it could be significantly different than these numbers. So It may be that it's so expensive that we can't do it.
And I always said, I think we need to go and do the bid. I'm just thinking the whole project and its whole benefit. And of course, the bid has to be kind of what you want done, and that's what I'm thinking. Is it necessary to move that much, or if we get by until we have another dry spot in our deal and do it slower? I don't know, and it ain't gonna get cheaper. And we probably should have done this 2 years ago, and that's probably a third of the price, or 2/3 of the price anyway. So, as far as I'm concerned, go out for bids and see, but you're just talking about moving the dirt. You're not telling them specifically what to do with it. So the reason I was thinking about it, questioning it, I guess.
Well, who's got our Shot Creek schedule? Pete,
Yes.
how close are we to doing some Shot Creek? They're right there on the riverside.
Well, not, these are all grants, so until we get some grants,
3 years away?
right now we're,
2 or 3 years?
3 years, we said.
Because we're busy until 2 or 3 years.
We've got Shot Creek every year forever.
We're trying to, this is a Franklin feeder that's on there today,
Yeah,
for $1
we know
million.
we don't do that, yeah.
That needed to be completed,
And the island mains and really,
by the
And the
grant,
island main, yeah.
because of the grant, it needed to be completed.
well, do we have a grant already approved for that section? Or
Riverside?
For the Riverside?
not for that section, for
Upstream,
upstream, the
Yeah.
next section down from where you lined it down.
Right.
Okay.
and that's not gonna
That's what I'm
get
thinking. Then we have
too
about,
wasteway too.
yeah. We have,
How long do you think this cleaning's gonna last, keep the flow going here?
You know, I'm gonna back up a little
Couple
bit
years.
and try to answer Johnny, I think you can hear me. I tried to avoid answering him a minute ago, so now I'll answer him. I'll give a real simple answer, you absolutely need to do this project now, and you need to do it this year, and we hope we can get it done this year. The system's getting ready to shut down, guys, okay? There's that much sediment problems. I mean, we're down, I know Robert's gonna pull off the Franklin Canal because you're restructuring the deliveries on it. Franklin Canal is designed at 300 CFS. Its max capacity right now is 85.
The Franklin Canal?
Yeah, downtown.
We get 170.
Yeah, when you're really pushing it and you're taking water out for the small track. But
Yeah.
if you had to push 170 down here, you couldn't do it.
Oh, no.
So, but we've worked around that. We think that it's an important one, that's why it's on here, but we can let that one go. He just said that, we put that one, but this one on the riverside, it was initially requested to be twice this size, at 5 million. I felt that was too much, that we just couldn't get it done, and that there was too much money in 1 year. Regardless, the sediment's gonna continue to come into the system and pile up, so yeah, it's a continuous battle. But we.
Yeah, no, I'm fully aware of all of that. I was just wondering, you just hate to move all that damn dirt and not end up with something that didn't want to redo it, but I guess it's impossible in this situation.
It's impossible.
Reoccur, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's, the sediment's gonna move from the upstream part we're not doing to fill these holes in. What we really need to do, and should have done a long time ago, was, and what other irrigation districts do, we're not the only ones with this problem, is that they build every year, you have a target amount of sediment you're supposed to remove, and it happens every year.
Now, we do
Well,
have,
we can't change that, that's fast. So,
thinking
yeah,
about it.
well, as far from my perspective, I'd say go out for the bids and we can go from there. And if you feel that adamant about it and you just went on tape saying it, well, I don't have a price problem and seeing the best way to do it.
No.
Do the bids, go ahead and do the bids as far as I'm concerned.
No,
The board has to speak up too.
So,
It's too expensive to go this route. I mean, I was thinking, we do have an option. The option would be rent excavators.
yeah,
Rent several excavators to where we could go out there and actually excavate the riverside and just place the sand on the side of the road as we spoke of. So if the hauling is out of the question, we've got a different option.
well, that's the plan, in case the bids came in too high, That would be the plan B, that we want to make sure this water can be flowing for the
Right.
water season. Now, going back to, not going back to the past, we have our engineers and everybody, I mean, this, no news is good news, I guess, my concept is, you don't hear nothing about sediment, you just hear about it, but you don't see it as a problem until it becomes right in our face where we have to do something about it. Is there any way going forward that this is a critical item, but is there another one that's coming, right, another storm that's coming, another section of a canal that's gonna be coming in the next year, following year, or subsequent year? So we can at least address them, come up with options, get the bid, so we don't miss a prime opportunity for market, for the cost. In other words, it's better to, like what Johnny said, maybe we should have done it 3 years ago when the price was less, but if we know that there's something coming 3 years from now, and it's something that if we come across some money, Mary finds a bunch of money, and we can make an attack it, that doesn't become a problem, and we're facing that as a reactive mode where whatever the price is, that's what we have to pay, and then we have to come up with plan Bs. I don't like to be reactive, it's like, so I haven't heard anything up to the last 10 years, because everything's great, but then all of a sudden, I hear this. So, it's either we're planning, and we're being proactive, or we're not.
It's actually a catch-22 because you know, let's say we would have done this 3-4 years ago, then that means that section of the shotcrete that we've done in the past 3-4 years would have been done.
No, that's fine,
So
but
it's
we have to.
catch-22 because
but-
concrete's also gone
But
up,
we,
so it's.
I know you're absolutely right, but as a board member, I wanna know those options.
Right.
And I like to know, okay, maybe we cut off on the shotcrete and we concentrate on this, because this is gonna come back and bite us. When, if we know there's gonna be a problem, and we know that there's fill, I can talk to people and say, you know what, there's a ton of dirt that you guys can get for free. And I can send them your way, and then it goes away over time, if I know of it. But if I don't know about it, then we gotta pay a premium to haul it off. That's all I'm saying, so it's just the transparency, being proactive, planning for the future, knowing what your system is doing, Jay, and then start providing us with that kind of information.
The
That's
delivery.
my take on it.
No, absolutely, the delivery system needs a lot of work. I mean, that's just, this year, operation-wise, we struggled, Robert pulled off miracles, and Pete brought in equipment in the middle of the season with water in there to make it happen. But, you know, this Franklin feeder is a prime example. It should have been completed, these are grants, and we've been doing shotcrete because we've had the grants, and the grants have deadlines that we need to abide by. The Franklin feeder should have been completed January of 2021. We asked for an extension, January 2022, and we haven't completed it. So, you know, our hope, or my hope, was, in discussion was to attack the system and really, you know, upgrade some checks and reconstruct a couple of checks in discussion with Dr. Blair, and excavate, remove silt, but because we have been doing shotcrete, as Pete mentioned, and obviously it has improved our system significantly, but the time that shotcrete takes with our personnel, it consumes our entire maintenance. It's a big operation. So it's, you know, and Pete does.
No, there's no question, we have great staff, but what I'm saying is that it's management. That's all I'm saying, it's management. It's you, it's just bringing us,
Can I address what
get us to
Mike's saying?
keep us informed, that's all I'm saying.
Mike, let me address what you're saying. I think we've done just what you said we should do. I think we've always done that. We're transparent on it. We know what the problems are. I think the only thing in question here is the options that we have to do this big project. Pete just gave us another option. I never feel like we don't know everybody. If you've ever been on the riverside, you know what it is. It's terrible, and it has to be done sooner or later. Only my question was, is there some other way to go? Well, Pete just came up with a different option that may be cheaper, but let's go out for bids to see, and then put the pencil to it and see which way to do it, because it needs to be done. There's no doubt about that, and I think we've all been made aware of your comments about being transparent. I don't see where we aren't transparent ever, and they bring it to us, and we address the issues. The only question in my mind is there a better way to do it, and I'm sure they've looked at all the options, and Pete just came up with another one. I think we need to look at the two options, and then we decide which way to go. But, it has to be done, and we can't wait. So, I think we're all right in where in our deal. We just need to make sure when we do it, we get the biggest bang for our buck. And that was my only question. Wasn't questioning where it needed to be done or not, because it's very obvious. If you live down there on that canal like I have for years, I call it Lake Riverside. Someday we're gonna narrow it down and it's gonna be a nice canal. Right now it's terrible. And not because of that, all that silt comes in right in that area more than anywhere else. But I don't question their, I don't think they're hiding anything from us at all. And I think they're very on top of the project. So I don't think their comments about
Maybe transparency
is correct. So,
well, transparency,
all I'm saying-
okay, I get it, but transparency might have been the right word, maybe proactive is the word I should have chosen. But all I'm saying is that we have time, we've been doing this for a very, very long time, and it's called management, in my opinion. Basically, we have to manage grants, we have to manage maintenance, and we have to manage a bunch of things that have to happen, and we just have to.
When are we not doing that? I mean, that's exactly what they've been doing, and they do a very good job of it. It's a huge job, and they manage the whole deal. It's our part to decide whether or not we want to spend the money to do it and ask the questions about, is there another option? And that's all I was doing. I'm really sorry you brought it up this morning, but I was saying, damn, it's a lot of money, and I know that canal very well, and it's going to fill back up. Is there a better option? So Pete gave us one, maybe cheaper. The other deal is go out for bids and find out what it is. But I don't see where anybody's mismanaging in any aspect. I'm very proud of their management, the way they've done it, and they always bring it to us, and they do a lot of work every day in trying to manage that system, and it's terrible. Let me tell you, I'm so proud of the system now compared to what it was and what it would have been if they hadn't been managing this deal. And thank God we have the money to be able to do it now because of all of the non-tax revenues. And this time in this coming year or two, we're going to have more tax revenues because of the amount of water we're going to deliver. So anyway, as far as I'm concerned, I think we need to go out for the bids. I think we need to look at Pete's secondary deal and see how far you think that, we look at it, Pete, I guess is what I'm saying. And let's see if that's not the better option to do, and which one's the less expensive. And either way you do it, it's going to fill back up. If you get it cement lined and properly shaped, because without it being properly shaped, it's going to deposit that water there. It's too wide. And if there's a way with excavators, like you were talking about, Pete, to allow this there is, I don't know, where you can kind of narrow it down a little bit.
But we still get the bids out, get the bids out, then we go through.
Good job, guys.
Al,
You're doing a good job.
When we cement line, we get a lot more silt coming into the areas, right?
Yeah, and
We receive, at a full allocation year, we receive between 600,000 and 1.2 million cubic yards of, it's converted in American. Most of that goes on your guys' we estimate 70% of it goes on your guys' fields. That's why your fields are higher now.
They're higher than they are now.
And we're only dealing with the 30%.
And it's a lot worse now, Larry, than it was before when the boundary commission kept the damn river clean.
Right.
But that's a big more, so we're just cleaning the river for the damn boundary commission.
But they're clean, they are trying to clean, but they're way behind because of that 20 years.
Exactly, the point is, they used to keep it perfect, now it's terrible.
So,
I'm not blaming them for doing it, I'm just saying they're not doing it. So, I guess that's blame.
that's a lot of sand, guys.
You need a board action on that deal?
No, we don't need it, we're just, it's in the budget.
Thank you, Pedro, thank you.
Thanks, Pete.
Thank you, Mary.
She's not even done yet.
Right.
Yeah, we're on Mary's side.
We're still on Mary. All right, we went through the equipment and now we went through the construction projects.
I have a suggestion how to take a little bit of expense off the budget is when you prepare the agenda for the deal, don't don't send 300, what, how much is it, 100 and what pages? Yeah, 113 pages of stuff that we never gonna read, that, because I went through that deal, and I couldn't even find the end of it, so. That got a bunch of pages down and could have saved us some money if you just put the deals and make the contracts and all available for review if you want to.
Well, that just means you don't have an outhouse anymore.
Do what?
That means you've gone past the outhouse stage.
Well, barely here where I'm living right now, but it is better.
Okay. All right, Mary, let's head on to any highlights you want to do on the revenue and the expenses of our new budget? Anything you want to point out?
No, sir. The only other area with regards to our group and medical life, Lisa, working with our Hub International company that works with us with setting up these group insurances for us, for the district. There was a rate pass for this year. So the rates will stay the same.
I remember.
Good job.
Correct.
Yeah.
Good
And
job.
that was with Hub?
Yes,
that's-
and with our Blue Cross Blue Shield health
Do
insurance.
we go through Hub to get the Blue Cross Blue Shield? Or do
Yes.
you-
Yes.
There are brokers.
Hub is the broker. Okay. That's still Ted Houghton's family, isn't it?